What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to Garage Denali. I am here with another DIY video for you guys. So today what we are going to be doing is we're going to be changing the transmission fluid on my 08 Honda Accord 5-speed manual. Now this will apply to all of the 8th generation Honda Accords that are the 5-speed manual gearbox with the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine. So this is going to be a little bit different on the V6 models, and even on those cars have the 6-speed transmission. So really this only applies to the cars with the 2.4 liter. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing the transmission fluid drain and refill on this car. I recently acquired this car and I'm not sure how long ago it's been done, if it's ever been done. So symptoms of that might include getting the car into gear, or if you put it in gear and the shifter is not staying in, it keeps popping out. Those might be a few symptoms, but this is pretty much an oil, and like all oil, you got to change it. So this video I'm going to show you guys how to do that. One thing I want to point out is it's going to really help you out if you remove the battery when you do this job. The thing is, on Hondas, what happens is when you remove the battery, the factory radio basically asks for an anti-theft code. So you're going to want to go ahead and find that code out. Mine was written in my owner's manual, but it's like a little business card and it has a code on it. In my case, there was a line on one of the first pages of the owner's manual where it's written down. So you're going to need that so you can resume using your radio. Normally, it's for anti-theft. This is a used car, so I'm not the original owner. Luckily, the number's there, but if it's not, and you don't have the code and your radio is not working because you removed your battery, you're going to have to go ahead and hit up your Honda dealer. So they should be able to help you out, get you the code based on the car's VIN number and the stereo's serial number. So just something to keep in mind when you do this job. So this is what I'm referring to by when you plug in the battery back into the car, your radio is going to be asking you to enter a code. So make sure you have that code before you disconnect the battery. Otherwise, you're going to have to consult the dealer to get your code so you can use your stereo again. What you're going to want to do is, to make this job a lot easier, you're going to want to go ahead and get your wheel off your driver's side front wheel here, because essentially what we need to do is we will need to gain access to that bolt right there. I'm not sure how well you guys can see it. I'm going to try to point to it right there, but the one with the little square socket right there. So this is our drain bolt right here, and a 3/8 drive ratchet goes in there. So that's how we're going to drain our fluid. And then if you notice, it might be a little hard to tell, but you see that little bolt right there that's pretty much covered in oil. I'm going to see if I can try to point it out. Let me see here. It's kind of hard to hold the camera steady and a flashlight, but you see that bolt right there where I'm pointing to that's covered in oil? That is our level check bolt. So that's a 17mm bolt, so that needs to be removed when checking the fluid level on your transmission to see if you got enough fluid level. And basically the way you have enough fluid is if the car is on even ground and you take it out, you stick your finger in there, and the fluid level should be even with the bolt as soon as you take it out. So pretty much when you're adding fluid, if you have fluid dripping out of there when the car is perfectly even, that is how you know you have enough fluid. So besides that, the most important thing when doing this DIY is getting the drain bolt out, because if you cannot get your drain bolt out after you've already removed the fluid, you're in trouble. So first and foremost, what you want to do is go ahead and remove your battery. The terminals are held in with 10mm nuts, so go ahead and loosen those, and then the terminals just pop right off. Pretty straightforward. So once you do that, get your battery out of the way. This will give you a lot more access here. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a 17mm socket with a ratchet. This might be on here pretty tight, so give it a good nudge and it'll break free. I was able to do that, so as you can see, this is now loose. This step is very important. You're going to want to do this first, because if you can't get this out and you have no fluid, you're going to need a tow truck. So unless you have the tools to get that off somehow. In my case, I wouldn't really have the tools, so I had to do this first. So make sure you get that out, and make sure you're able to, get it off completely, just for your peace of mind. I got it off earlier, and I saw that that was indeed the gearbox right down there to add fluid. So we're going to go ahead and get that free. Once we do that, we are pretty much going to go under the car, and we need to remove this plastic belly pan here so we can gain more access to our drain bolt, which is that square one right there, and then our level check, which is the one covered in oil that I showed you guys. So we're going to go ahead and get that off right now. So in order to do this job right, the materials that you're going to need, obviously your transmission fluid. For the 5-speed manual, you're going to need 2 US quarts of transmission fluid. I got 3 here just in case, but you're going to need 2 of those. And then you're going to need a washer for your filler bolt, and then you're also going to need a washer for your drain bolt. Your drain bolt is a little smaller and your fill bolt is a little bigger. Now the bolt for your fluid level check, the washer is the same size as the fill. So they're both 17mm bolts, so the 2 washers are the same. So keep that in mind if you're going to be removing that. These are crush washers, and then this is your drain bolt washer, so keep that in mind. But pretty straightforward. This only cost me $7.50 a quart at the Honda dealer. The washers were only like $2, so you can pretty much do this job for less than 20 bucks, and I guess at the most an hour of your time. So let's jump right into it. So to get this little pan off, you're going to have a bunch of these little pop rivets here. But what you want to do is go ahead and get a flathead screwdriver, stick it in here, pull this out, and then if you have a clip removal tool, you can use that, or if you have a pair of pliers, go ahead and pull this out just like that. And get all the clips that are all the way around so you can get this pan off, so you can get access to the bolts, which are right over there. Alright, so just as a reference, this is all the clips that were in the car. So where I'm standing is the front of the car. That's the passenger side, that's the driver's side. So this is about this is the location of where they came out from, approximately. The belly pan itself is right here. So as you can see, you've got all kinds of pop rivets right here where all these circles are. So go ahead and get these removed. These are not, I don't think there were pop rivets here, but I think it's where these circles are right here. So you can see there was one up here, and there was one here and another there. So these are all the pop rivets. Mind you, there's about 20 of these, so just keep that in mind. That's how many you got to remove in order to get this off, because now we have access to our bolts, which our drain bolt is right there, that little rusty circular bolt. So now we're going to go ahead and get our pan under here, and we're going to go ahead and slowly drain the fluid out. Okay, so once you're under here and you're ready to drain the fluid out, go ahead and grab your 3/8 drive ratchet. Mine's a little rusty here, so it was a little challenging getting it in the hole there, but get it on, and then you're going to push towards the back of the car counterclockwise to break the bolt free. I have it broken free right now, so I'm going to go ahead and go up where the wheel is on the driver's side and remove it from over there, since I'll have a lot more room, and get ready to catch it. Alright, so as you can see, we're about to catch our fluid. And make sure your fluid is up to normal operating temperature when you do this, so you can get it all out. So as you can see, our fluid is coming out. This might have been done recently because it looks still to be golden brown, but I'm going to go ahead and get the car even because it is slightly tilted. This is the highest point of the car right now, so I'm going to go ahead and lower the jack a little bit just so I can get all that fluid out. And I guess it'd be a good idea to go ahead and pop this off so the air can flow better a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and let that drain. I'm going to bring the car down just a little bit, and we'll get all of our fluid out. And then, as you can see, it's streaming out nicely. So once that's all good to go, we're going to go ahead and start topping it off. So as you can see here, I gave it a few minutes to get all the fluid out. You can see where the drain bolt is and the little washer is still on there, so go ahead and remove that because it is a crush washer. So once you're all good with that, go ahead and clean up the area and put that bolt back on. And then we're going to go ahead and fill up after we do this. Okay guys, once you have made sure that you got your drain fill bolt back on along with the new washer and you made sure it's torqued to spec, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and break free your level check bolt, which was right under there. Break it free, but don't take it out, so that way we can easily remove it when we get the car level to check the fluid level. But get that broken free and just tighten it back on by hand. And now we are ready to add our fluid. So go ahead and get your funnel right in place and then slowly pour the fluid into the transmission. Now this fluid is a whole lot clearer than what came out of the car, so I'm not sure when the last time it was done before, but oils are good to replace regularly, so for peace of mind, it's cheap insurance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pour 1 quart in, then I'm going to go ahead and level the car off to how it's supposed to be, and then I'm going to go ahead and remove that bolt, and then I'm going to slowly add fluid and check to see as it's coming out, and if it is coming out, then pretty much you're good to go. So let it completely drip until it's all done, and you go ahead and get that bolt torqued on, and then you can go ahead and put your new washer along with your fill bolt on, and you'll be good to go. So now we're going to go ahead and slowly pour our second quart. I'm going to go ahead and pour, I don't know, maybe like half of this, and then I'm going to go ahead and check the level check hole, make sure we're still good there, and I'm just going to keep adding as necessary until the fluid level is where it should be. So just go ahead and do that and take your time here. There's no rush to do any of this. So right now I'm not seeing any fluid coming out, so we're going to go ahead and keep adding. So we're in the last half of the quart here, so it should pretty much be close to full at this point. So there's probably a quarter left in here. Check our level. I don't really see fluid coming out, but I think I do see the level in there getting close, so we're just going to go ahead and pour the whole thing, and we should be good to go. Book calls for 2 quarts. There's 2 quarts right there. And would you look at that? So I'm not sure how well you guys are going to be able to tell. Hopefully the light's not in the way, but if you look inside that hole, you can see the fluid is about to come out. So that's pretty much the level we want to be at. So basically, when you stick your finger in there, the fluid level should be at the level of the bottom of the curve there of the drain hole. So that's pretty much on point with where we want to go. So at this point, pretty much go ahead and take your level check bolt, hit it with some brake dust, clean it up real good. Mine was completely covered in oil, which leads me to believe it's been a while since the fluid was changed, or there was a really bad oil leak beforehand. But regardless, we got nice new fluid, so go ahead and clean this up and get your new crush washer on there. And then go ahead and get your bolt back on and then torque it to spec. Okay, and the last step here before we start to get everything buttoned back together, go ahead and grab your last O-ring washer for your fill bolt, which is right there. Get it on there, get it tight, get it torqued to spec. Once you do all that, make sure everything is good to go here, torqued to spec. It wouldn't be a bad idea to start the car, check for leaks. Shouldn't be any leaks though, the liquid is thick enough, and you got the washers on there, so you should be good. As long as everything is torqued to spec, you can't really mess this job up. So at this point, you're going to want to go ahead and get everything back together, get your battery tray in, get your battery in, get your wheel back on. Alright guys, there you have it. That right there is the DIY, the tutorial on how to change your manual transmission fluid on your 8th generation Honda Accord 2.4 liter 5-speed manual. So as you can see, not too difficult. It's kind of a process, mainly because of getting that little plastic belly pan off under guard splash protector. That's pretty much the longest part of this whole entire DIY. As you can see, not terribly difficult. If you do have jack stands, it makes it a lot easier. I didn't have jack stands, so I had just the regular flat tire iron, so I had to use that to move it up and down. But I mean, if you have jacks and are able to get the car up in the air all nice and level, then this process should take half the time it took me to do, and it took me, I guess, an hour and a half, but that's also because I was filming. So overall, not too difficult, not too terrible. So if I ever had to do this again, I could probably do it in 45 minutes tops. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, drop them down below. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up. Comment, rate, and subscribe. Please check me out on Instagram at Garage Denali. Thank you very much. Take care and have a good one.